Hello, this is Mrs. Ross, and today we're going to be doing Lesson 31, Reading and Writing Decimal Numbers, the START problems. It starts on page 225 in your Section Course 2 book. If you have any questions, please let me know. Number 1 says Mrs. Gonzalez's class and Mr. O'Brien's class are going to use the money they raised at the school raffle to buy several new maps for their classrooms. The maps cost $89.89. Mrs. Gonzalez's class has raised $26.47. Mr. O'Brien's class has raised $32.54. How much more money do they need to raise to buy the maps? So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add $26.47 and $32.54 to see how much they have already. And using my handy dandy calculator, should be 59.01. All right, so let's find out how much they still need. We're going to subtract 59.01 from 89.89, and we get 30.88. And that is our answer. Okay, let's change colors. Norton read 4 books on vacation, or during his vacation. The first book had 326 pages. The second had 288 pages. The third had 349 pages. And the fourth had 401 pages. The 4 books he read had an average of how many pages? Now we know that average is equal to the sum over how many? So let's find our sum. We've got 326, 288, 349, and 401. We're going to find our sum. So let's see, 326 plus 288 plus 349 plus 401. And I get 1364. And then my how many is equal to 4. It's 4 books, right? So my average is equal to my sum divided by how many. And I get 341 pages. And that's your answer. All right, we have a few questions on here I might have to erase in between. Let me grab a different color. Okay, this says round 481,462 to the nearest 100,000. So 100,000 is going to be this number, but I'm looking at this number. Those are my little eyeballs. So this number is greater than 5. So if I'm rounding this to the nearest 100,000, this is going to be 500,000. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and erase my marks up here and change my color. Okay, so this is the nearest 1,000. So let's see, near the thousands place is right here. The 1 is in the thousands place. So I'm going to look here, and that's less than 5. So this is going to stay the same. So I have 481 because everything on this side stays the same. And then this is 0, 0, 0. Okay? All right, this says mentally estimate the difference. So we're going to subtract between this number, which is probably closest to that, and this number, which is probably closest to that. So I can subtract 20,000 from 50,000 and get 30,000. Okay. New color. Okay. Name the shaded part of this square as a fraction, decimal, and percent. So let's take a look at this. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So there's 10 squares on this side. 1, 2, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So there's 10 squares on this side. So there's a total of 100 squares. The shaded part is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I have 7 out of 100. To go from the fraction to the decimal, I divide. So 100 goes into 7, and if you do this in your calculator, this is the decimal. So this is A, this is B. And then as a percent, so if this is my decimal, to go from decimal to percent, I multiply by 100. So 0.07 times 100 gives me 7%. Okay. In the number this, which digit is in the hundredths place? So whenever there's a TH, we know that that's behind the decimal point. So I know that this is tenths, this is hundredths, right there. There's actually a chart on the wall that has all of these decimal place values. Okay, 11 says, replace each circle with the proper comparison symbol. That means either a greater than, a less than, or equal to. So I have 3/10, which is a fraction, is equal to 3/10. If I divide this to make it a decimal, that means it goes 10 into 3, I get 0.3. So these are equal. Now, if I divide this one, I'm going to get 0.03. So 100, 0.03, which is smaller than this. The way that I know that is if I line up my decimal places, this is the same, but this one is larger, right, than these two numbers. So that's larger. All right. The vertices, which is just a fancy math word for corner, of a square are located at these three places. So 3 is here. 3, -3 is here. -3, -3 is there. And then -3, +3 is there. So here's my square. It says sketch the axis and then draw the square. Use the drawing to answer questions B and C. So I had an axis and I drew the square. Excuse me. It asked for the perimeter. So let's see. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So here I have 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So if it's a square and each side is 6, then my perimeter, since I have 4 sides, is going to be 24. 24, we don't know what this is, so like units. And then for area, we know that the area of a square is side times side. Okay, so our side is 6. So that's 36 units squared. Okay. All right, now we have some fraction problems, so let me walk through these with you. I have 1/2 plus 2/3, and I need a common denominator here. So what I'm going to use is I'm going to use 6. They both go into 6. So for this to become 6, I need to multiply by 3. That's a 3. And if I multiply the bottom by 3, I have to multiply the top by 3. So what I end up with is 3 times 1 is 3, and then 3 times 2 is 6. Okay? No, I want something different. Purple. Okay. And then here, I know 3 times 2 is 6. So whatever I multiply the bottom by, I have to multiply the top by. So I have 2 times 2 is 4, and 3 times 2 is 6. Now I can add these because they have the same base. So 3 plus 4 is 7, 6. Now I have to reduce it. So 6 goes into 7 one time with 1 left over, so 1 and 1/6. Because we're going to put this over that. Okay? Let me see if I can... Okay. So let's do this one. I'm going to keep where it says 3 and 5 sixths, I'm going to keep the 6. I'm going to make this into a denominator of 6 so that these match. To do that, I need to multiply this by 2. When I multiply the bottom by 2, I multiply the top by 2, and I end up with, this is 2 and 6, just this one. Okay, not the whole thing equals. So this is going to be minus 2 sixths. So 5 minus 2 is 3. We can do that. 3 minus nothing is 3. I do need to reduce this, and I'm going to divide the top and the bottom by 3. So my whole number, nothing happens. 3 divided by 3 is 1. 6 divided by 3 is 2. Got some other fraction. Wait, did I just do? No, I did not. Okay. Let's do 26. Here I'm going to keep the 6. Remember that we're adding. And then I'm going to make this into 6. So this is going to be times 3 and times 3. So my whole number, nothing happens to my whole number. So I have 3 and 3 sixths plus, and then 1 and 5 sixths just hangs out there too. Since it's addition, it doesn't matter that this is greater than that. We're just going to add it. 5 plus 3 is 8. 3 plus 1 is 4. Now we have to deal with this thing. So 6 goes into 8 one time with 2 left over. And then I have to divide. So I have 1 and 1/3. This comes back over here. We're going to add the 4 and the 1, which gives us 5 and 1/3, because we can't lose the 1/3. I don't have a lot of room. Let me try a different color. I might have to erase, though. So I'm going to do this, and then I'm going to do this one down here. So here I have 8. 4 goes into 8, so I'm going to make the 4 into the 8. So I have 5 and 1/4 times 2 is 5 and 2/8 minus 1 and 5/8. Unfortunately, this is a subtraction problem, and 5 is greater than 2, so I'm going to have to borrow. When I borrow 1, so I take away 1 from 5, and I'm going to add the 1 over here. So now I have 4. 2 plus 8 is 10 over 8. Nothing happened here, so this is still minus 5/8. Okay. 10 minus 5 is 5/8. 4 minus 1 is 3, and that's your answer. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and erase this. Alright, this is our last problem, and it says evaluate this expression for a equals 3 and b equals 4, which means everywhere that I have an a, I'm going to plug in 3. Right, I'll plug it in here, and I'll plug it in there. And then everywhere that I have a b, I'll plug in 4. So I'll plug that in there, and I'll plug it in there. So it looks something like, let's see, b is 4, a is 3, plus a is 3, b is 4. Well, I can't add these because they don't have common denominators. So I'm going to make the common denominator 12. And to do that, I'm going to multiply by 4. So 3 times 4 and 4 times 4. This is going to be 16 over 12 plus, and to do that here, I have to multiply by 3. So times 3 times 3, so I get 9 over 12. Now I can do that. 16 plus 9 is 25 over 12. Now I have to reduce that. 12 goes into 25 twice with 1 left over, and that's my answer. All right, let me know if you have any questions.